Today we're diving into the incredible story of Luang Pu Fan Ajaro, a truly revered forest monk from Thailand. Now, his life, it reveals this profound secret, something almost unbelievable, the power of our own minds to overcome even the most intense physical suffering. So, the question is, how did he actually do it? Well, let's get into it.
All right, so our story starts with a secret to conquering illness. But here's the thing, this wasn't something discovered in a lab or a medical journal. No, this was revealed during a moment of absolute crisis, a time when all the usual hope was just gone. And that's what sets the stage for a solution that is anything but ordinary.
I mean, think about it for a second. What do you do when the best of modern medicine just gives up? You know, when the doctors have tried everything and they finally tell you there's nowhere left to turn. Well, that was the exact desperate situation facing one of Thailand's most respected monks.
And you can just feel the weight of this situation, right? We're talking about Samdet Pramahawiravong, a figure of immense respect in Thailand. He was so ill that he couldn't even eat. He was literally surviving on an IV drip. The medical experts, they'd done everything they could, and from their point of view, the road was coming to a very definite end.
So in this moment of pure desperation, they didn't call another doctor or a specialist. They turned to something completely different, the teachings of Luang Pu Fan. Now this was a humble forest monk known for his incredibly deep meditative practice, and he was asked to offer a whole different kind of healing, one that had to come entirely from within.
Luang Pu Fan's first piece of advice was so simple, but at the same time, just incredibly profound. He basically said, look, forget about the 84,000 Buddhist scriptures for now. We're not going there yet. The very first step, the absolute starting point, the one you have to start with, is to make the mind calm, to make it focused. This deep, unwavering concentration, it's called samadhi. And he taught that this is the foundation for everything else. You can't do anything else until you have this.
And he had a couple of really great analogies to get this point across. Think about a little sapling. If you keep pulling it out of the ground and replanting it somewhere else, what's going to happen? It'll never take root. It'll just die. Or imagine you desperately need water. If you go around digging a bunch of shallow holes all over the place, you're never going to find it. The only way is to pick one spot and just dig deep. And that, he explained, is exactly how the mind works. Scattered thoughts, scattered energy, it gets you absolutely nowhere. Real progress only comes from that deep, unwavering focus.
Okay, so you might be thinking, how does this focus actually help with real physical suffering? Well, Luang Pu Fan laid out 3 clear steps. Step 1, analyze your body. Just see it for what it is, a collection of 4 elements: earth, water, wind, and fire. Step 2, separate your mind from your body. You have to realize that those physical parts, your bones, your blood, they don't feel pain on their own. They just exist. And then the final step, and this is the absolute key, let go. He taught that the real suffering, the thing that actually hurts, isn't the physical sensation itself, it's the mind clinging to that sensation, grabbing onto it and calling it my pain.
And the result of all this? It was just astonishing. The Samdet practiced these teachings every single day. And in the very area where modern medicine had completely failed, his health started to improve. He didn't just get a little better, he recovered. He went on to live for many, many more years, a living, breathing testament to this incredible power of the mind. But Luang Pu Fan's influence, it wasn't just limited to this one unbelievable healing. Not at all. In fact, his wisdom was so respected that it was sought out at the very highest levels of the nation. It even led to him becoming a spiritual guide for the King of Thailand himself.
So back in 1972, His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej asked Luang Pu Fan this really critical question: how can our nation achieve harmony and prosperity? And Luang Pu Fan's answer was so direct, he said the problem is that people think religion is somewhere else. It's in a temple, it's in a book from India. But the true religion, he said, is right here, in our own hearts. Peace in the nation has to start with peace inside ourselves. When we start treating each other like family, that's when the conflict just dissolves. And his life really was a remarkable journey. I mean, he was born in 1899 into a noble family. He could have had a life of total comfort, of power. But then, in 1920, he had this pivotal meeting with the great forest master, Luang Pu Mun, and it just changed everything. He chose the complete opposite path, the path of an ascetic monk, and he dedicated the next 58 years of his life to meditation and teaching, right up until he passed away in 1977. And if you want to understand the sheer depth of respect people had for him, just look at this. Both their majesties, the King and Queen of Thailand, personally presided over his funeral. Now, that is an incredibly rare and significant honor. It was this powerful, public symbol of just how immense his spiritual contribution was to the entire nation.
So, after all that, what's the central, most powerful idea we can take away from his life's work? Well, it can really all be distilled down into one elegant yet super profound concept: his legacy of Wat Jai.
The absolute genius of his teaching is wrapped up in this term, Wat Jai. See, in Thai, the word Wat almost always means a temple, but Luang Pu Fan was clever. He used its other meaning, which is to measure. And with that simple, brilliant bit of wordplay, he completely reframed the whole idea of going to the temple. It stopped being about visiting a physical building. The real practice, the real temple work, is the constant act of measuring and observing your own mind. The most important spiritual journey you can ever take, it's always an inward one.
And that really brings us to the final takeaway, doesn't it? The wisdom of Luang Pu Fan, it isn't just some interesting story from the past, it's a living, breathing practice. And so, the question his teaching leaves us with is a really personal one. Today, have you taken a moment to stop, to look inward, and to truly measure your own mind?